Rob G, let's bring you in on this Terry Bradshaw. You know, Terry and I have had some issues going back. So
it's like one-sided, but yes, you all have issues going back. No,
but he's got other issues.
Terry Bradshaw, you know, Steelers legend.
Yep.
It's well documented now, going back several years, that despite being a Steelers legend, he doesn't really think too highly of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He famously called Mike Tomlin a cheerleader, even though Mike Tomlin's never had to lose the season as head coach.
Can you imagine calling a coach a
especially
they can't be more disrespectful with that. A cheerleader.
He has openly criticized Aaron Rodgers, who for all his faults is currently second in the NFL in touchdown passes.
And Aaron Rodgers took the high road.
And he did.
Mm-hmm. You remember that? He did. He handled it the right way.
And despite Pittsburgh being 2-1 on the young season, first in that AFC North division, Terry Bradshaw told Yahoo Sports he's not a fan of what he's seeing in Pittsburgh. Take a listen.
They're not ever going to fire Mike Tomlin. If they continue, they've made the playoffs 18 years. And he wins it, he'll go again 19 years. They don't have the team. It takes offense, defense, takes it all, takes coaching. Every time they get great players and they do really well, you had Brown, Antonio Brown. You had the running back that actually signed with the Jets. I can't think of his name. He's just gone. I don't know where he is. All these guys are on their way to the Hall of Fame. They're playing so great for Pittsburgh. I want my money. So they'll get their money and they're out of there. That's what happens. That's why I wasn't opposed to Dallas's move. 4-year guy going to 5th year. I want my money. They say, look, I've already paid such and such. We can wait another year. And then finally they said, look, send you out of here. It's not a bad way to do it if you can pick up a lot of first-round draft picks and maybe there's a quarterback you think you might need or a great lineman or something, whatever. I don't know. But they're always competitive, but they're past being a contender. They're not a contender. They're just not. From what I've seen, they're not a contender. They haven't been in a while. They hadn't been a contender in 5 years.
This is my issue. I don't have an issue with him saying they're not contenders. I don't expect them to go to Super Bowl. I don't expect, and they haven't. They haven't had a playoff win in 9 or 10. But Terry Bradshaw is a perfect example of sticking around too long. When you stick around too long, and you become a bitter old man. I'm dead serious, and this is the danger of staying around too long. Nothing's good enough. You complain about everybody, every situation. You feel you can say and do anything because you're an older person. What are they going to do to you? They can't touch you. You know what I mean? And you feel like I live my life. I don't care what they think. And I don't think that's the way you really want to go out. You don't want to go out in that fashion. That's why I would rather retire 3 years early than 3 years too late. Mm-hmm. I'm dead serious. And I've said this to you. Because Howard Cosell went out like that, if you remember. Yeah. Howard Cosell is one of the greatest broadcasters, and his stamp on American sports announcing and his where he fit into the culture at that time and whatever, his stuff with Muhammad Ali. If you've never seen Howard Cosell or never heard any of his broadcasts, am I right, Kelvin?
No,
he is an iconic.
He was like the standard.
The standard back in the 70s on ABC. Monday Night Football, Monday Night Baseball, boxing. All the stuff, boxing, the Muhammad Ali stuff, just great, great stuff. But he got out he went out as a retired, as a bitter old man, and went after everybody, and nobody was any good. That's just not the way you want to go out. And why? Why with the Steelers? Why would you have people? You won 4 Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. You have a great connection with it. I get it. You could criticize Mike Tomlin. Calling him a cheerleader is like crossing a line to me. You want to say he doesn't do X, Y, and Z well, or he's not able to win a playoff game. He's only hasn't won a playoff game in 10. That's all fair game. Mm-hmm. It feels like something happened there where they don't value his opinion. He went in and tried to get Tomlin fired, and the Rooneys don't want to hear from him. Like there's something there that makes him this guy. He attacked Aaron Rodgers before he even got there. Aaron Rodgers said, hey, he's a legend. I don't know, Terry. I wish we could meet and talk or whatever it is. And I think there's a way to go out with some grace when you've had such a distinguished career. And it doesn't mean, and you know me, I'm about keeping it real and being honest, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference between the two. And especially when you were a part of something and now you want to burn down everything on your way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that people remember that stuff. And I don't know if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, are you listening to Terry Bradshaw and thinking, yeah, there's Terry telling it like it is. He's the great quarterback who won 4 Super Bowls. Or they go, look at this old dude who's, going out in a blaze of reckless, just being reckless and destroying everything and trampling over the organization and whatnot. Why do you want to hear your hero go out like that? I don't know. He it doesn't feel good to me.
No, listen, two things can be true, right? So I think you just stated it. They have been a middling franchise for a handful of years now. There are no expectations for them to go to Super Bowl. I'm sure within their building, they absolutely believe they are. They ain't going to the Super Bowl. And it looks like to me they're going to be a very similar team at best than what they were last year. I don't think they'll even be that successful. So, yes, if someone asks him, what is your analysis of this team this season? He gives it. I understand this. But to your point, taking personal shots and calling first of all, a man who's been really good most of the time in his profession, Mike Tomlin, a cheerleader, is kind of crazy. And calling me that when we're in the same organization, calling me that when we're trying to build something and we are all part of this organization. You're a legacy person. I'm part of my career. Help me build. Also, he's just in his no F's to give phase of life. And when old people get like that, you got a grandfather who's going to tell you, he said, boy, that nappy hair, why you bring that girl up in here looking like that? You're like, whoa, Gramps, this is my girlfriend, or that's my friend, or that's my, he's in that place of life, and somebody has to kind of reel him in a little bit, because one thing you would want from him, someone like that, is to be constructive with the franchise, meaning come on back, be a part of it, help us build this thing up. We're open to your criticism. We're open to talk to us. What do you see? Listen, you played the position. What are you seeing that we can do differently? And that's why I'm wondering: is there some fracture with the organization? Is there some beef that I don't know about?
I think that he wanted, and he even said that they'll never fire him. I think that he went to them
to get Tomlin out, and they kept their guy.
And they kept their guy and said, "No, Terry, we're not doing."
Well, I mean, listen,
they've only had 3 coaches in 50 years. So Terry, why do you think the Rooney's going to do something different?
And that's kept them a good team. Now, they want to get over the top. They want to get back to winning Super Bowls. But in order to do that, you at least got to be competitive. And they've been that. So, again, I don't have a problem with him giving his analysis of the team, where they are, what he expects. But when you take shots at Aaron Rodgers, just kind of coming in, you take shots at the organization, you take shots at Mike Tomlin, it kind of becomes, well, what's really going on? What's the motive? What's the impetus? What's the genesis of this? Is there something more deep-rooted? Is there something, again, we don't know about? Is there some beef with the family? Is there beef where he wanted to be part? This is me speculating. Do you part of ownership? Like what's going on? Because typically what you see is guys being a part of that. They're welcome back. They're always, you look at how Jerry Jones, despite what I may say, you may say, he may say, all the guys come back and they love being a part of Cowboy Nation, right? They love being, it's a part of the franchise. The organizations have that thing. He seems like maybe kind of slightly on the outside. And again, this is Kelvin Washington just speculating. I don't know.
And he was a minority owner, but he sold his interests back 20 years ago.
And maybe
now
he's sitting there and see when the NFL has skyrocketed.
That's what I'm saying.
And he missed it. Why y'all? Maybe it's some beef. Why y'all didn't tell me? Why didn't y'all tell me that this was about to happen? So I don't know. I feel like when you're in a position to be more helpful, to be more of a part of the constructive building of something.
Now, you don't have to be – I want to say that. You don't have to be
rah-rah guy.
You don't have to be Tiki Barber, where the Giants can do no wrong. Like, if you listen to his radio show in New York, like he is dyed in the wool, whatever the Giants do. He wants to get the goodie bag. He wants to be able to sit in the suite, with the owner and all that. Like, he is, like, on the other side. So I'm not talking about you got to be that. Because the
who I think does a perfect middle?
Who?
To your point? I think Troy Aikman.
He's critical.
He's critical.
When he has to be.
Yeah, I don't think Jerry Jones did that right. But he, he'll show up at the Ring of Honor. So he's like, hey, my job is to keep it a buck. I'm not going to make anything personal. I'm not going to take any jabs at you. But I'm going to just tell the truth and where I am with it. And it's no love lost. Pull up on me. Come see me. Still be there when the triplets come in town and him and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. I think Troy Aikman kind of found a great middle ground of that over his years, in my opinion. But, yeah, I just like Terry's in his no blanks to give era of life.
No, but
and the Steelers can get some of this smoke.
That's why I brought up the Howard Cosell, because guys go out like this.
What was my man Jimmy the Greek?
Yeah.
He went out kind of just saying some wild stuff. There's some other people who went a little too long. There was health issues, like when Dick Clark.
But a lot of these guys wind up getting fired too, like Brent Musburger. Like, like they think that they're bulletproof and they can say
they haven't read the room of the era.
Whatever they want. And they you notice at Michigan, Frank Beckman was a longtime Michigan play-by-play guy for the football. And then he wrote a column about Tiger Woods and fried chicken and collard greens or whatever. You know what I mean? And lost the radio job.
Sometimes when you've been doing something so long, Rob, as you know, not only, I mean, literally just from you covering it, like you're stuck in the era where you can say things.
And then you think, like, you really think you're bulletproof. I'm serious because you've been there that long.
I see the difference just even between me sitting with other anchors who are, maybe 15 to 20, 25 years my senior. They will say some stuff that I'm like, because they're from that era, the 80s and 90s, where I'm like, we can't say that anymore, y'all. It's 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. We can't say that. So maybe they haven't, they don't catch up to where we are and we're kind of with things you can and can't say in the current day. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts. And while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.